everyone, today's video is going to be really special. About a year ago, my Hutterite friend Brittany gave me a long distance makeover and taught me how to do her hairstyle and look a little bit like how she looks. And something else that she sent me was a recipe for bread, and she sent me a video, as you can see here, how they make an enormous batch of bread on the colony, and it is a huge batch. As you can see from the original recipe here, it requires 13.5 quarts of flour. Huge, and it makes so much bread, and this is the recipe they make and eat and also sell at the farmers markets. Now I've taken that recipe and I've made it smaller, for one thing, and I've also made a variety of variations, including sandwich bread from this recipe, as well as cinnamon rolls. So here is the recipe. It makes about 16 dinner rolls or 2 small loaves of bread. I'm starting with the flour. You can use all-purpose flour. I replace about 1/3 of it with wholemeal or whole wheat flour just for some added fiber. It's still very fluffy, but the original recipe just uses all-purpose or white flour. Next, you're going to be measuring the sugar directly into the flour, and then I'm measuring my instant yeast directly into that as well. Because I'm using instant yeast, I don't need to hydrate the yeast. It can go directly into the flour and be whisked in. Just gently whisk it in, then add your salt and stir it in as well. This is to ensure everything is well incorporated, and I always do it like this. Now we have the liquid ingredients. I'm using milk. You can use a mixture of milk and water, and I'm reserving some of it to add later because I don't want the recipe to be too dry or too wet. I kind of adjust a little bit, leave some leeway. I'm adding coconut oil instead of chicken fat. I think chicken fat would be pretty amazing, but I think coconut oil is good enough for me. Whisking it together with 2 eggs, and that's all for the liquid ingredients. So now I'm making a well in the center of the flour, and I'm going to pour the liquid ingredients in. You can mix this dough in like a stand mixer, but I'm going to show you how to do it by hand just in case you don't have one, because it's such a great, simple, adaptable recipe. I think anyone can make bread using this recipe. It comes out really good as well. So I'm just using a large spatula to sort of knead it, because the dough is soft and I like it soft, slightly sticky, so that's why I'm mixing it and kneading it with a large spatula instead of with my hands. And it's very simple. It takes a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and you're done. So you can totally make this if you don't have a stand mixer. That's what I'm trying to encourage, that you can make bread and enjoy making bread even if you don't have a stand mixer. It's very much possible. Now when the dough has been kneaded and it's slightly springy, then you want to just lightly spritz with oil and set it aside to rise for an hour to an hour and a half. When your bread is risen, it should be just about doubled, and you can empty it out onto an oiled counter. And what I'm doing is making the dinner rolls. I'm spritzing it with a little bit of oil. The dough is firm enough to form the shape of the dinner rolls on its own. It's not a very stiff dough. It still has to be treated lightly, because it is a soft dough. But that is what makes it so fluffy for me. So I'm just shaping the rolls, just rolling them up and arranging them in 4 rolls of 4. And here we have the sandwich bread. I'm just literally plopping some of the soft dough into the loaf tin. With the other half, I'm actually going to be making like a chocolate bundt loaf. And being that this batch of dough is a little bit softer, I rolled it out with flour, made it into like a rectangle shape, sprinkled couverture milk chocolate buttons all over it. Oh, so good. Rolled it up and just plopped it in the bundt pan. Easy peasy, super easy. And I put it all to rise. Here you can see the buns that were risen. They're looking very good. So they are going into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. putting the bun and the loaf in as well. And I'm going to give you a little tour of the Hutterite kitchen while the bread bakes. So Brittany sent me this video. This is one of their cookers. It's kind of like a giant soup cooker from what she tells me. They use huge commercial appliances to cook for the 60 plus people in the colony. You can see this, the soup cooker can be kind of tipped over so the soup can be ladled, poured out. And they have these enormous industrial equipment. Everything is so shiny and so clean. It's like brand new. And I'm just so impressed by how clean her kitchen is. This is another cooker. I think you can do noodles in it as well because it has its own strainer. And you can do soups. It's pretty cool. The Hutterites are not like the Amish. They do use electricity and technology and even social media. Sometimes it depends on the rules and the traditions differ from colony to colony. This is one of their ovens, beautiful, huge oven. The top oven is actually out of order, being repaired. So you can take a look inside, and the bottom oven is being used. There's something inside of there. Here are some of the breads that they're rising in a rack. And here's a larger view of the kitchen and some of the appliances that you saw earlier. Everything is so organized, so neat and shiny and clean. I'm very, very impressed. And here is where they eat. Kind of like a dining. I'm not sure if it's connected. I think it's connected to the kitchen that you saw earlier. And I'd love to visit one day if I ever get the chance. So here is the finished bread. We have the loaf, the bun, the chocolate chip bun, and the star of the show, really, the dinner rolls. They're all really good and really delicious. You can see it's so fluffy. The chocolate chip bun is... And here the dinner rolls, again inside, really light and fluffy, even with the whole wheat. So I'm very, very, very pleased. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Bye!